March, I'm Leland Miller. Thank you so much for joining us today. There it is. Hello again, and welcome to Freedom March. Thank you for joining us here today on 103.5 FM The Beat, on ILTV Studios, on Facebook, and of course on channel 224 or channel 112, whether that's on cable or on Flow TV. I'm in studio with the spiritual advisor, Bradley Rhodes. Spiritual advisor, happy Monday.
Yes, well, thank you so much. Good to be here.
And I'm not sure whether or not it's me or you or outside.
It's hot.
Every single time I see you, somehow the day before that is hotter and hotter and hotter. So, spiritual advisor, I hope that you stay in safe, because they have to be auditioning for hell out there. I just cannot take any more of it. Any activity that does not include an air conditioning, I am telling people now that it is against my religion to attend it. So you can't invite me to no cookout. You can't invite me to no stakeout. You can't invite me to no rally. You can't invite me to no softball game. I can't come to no flag football game. All those things are against my religion until such time as I figure out what's going on with this heat, because I cannot.
It's going to get worse, though.
I cannot come out there in that. No. Now I'm going to save one day, because I'm working on it. We're working on the spiritual advisor, because I want to actually still somehow put on a march for Rodney. I'm trying to figure out which day and how. But I want you to know that that'll be my one day. And then every other day after that, don't fool with too much of that, all right? So what's been going on with you over the weekend and on this?
Weekend was good, actually. Yeah. Got a chance to get some rest. Spend some time with some friends, and it's good. Actually,
that's always a good thing. There's a whole lot of things happening around spiritual advisor. I think we're going to get to a couple of them before we get to the show. I know, of course, you have holy scripture for us, and so
indeed.
Let me also say that over this weekend, as I moved about, I still see a wonderful level of outpouring of support and people offering me their condolences and etc. And I do want to say to them that I'm very grateful about that. I also want to say to them that the thing about time is it marches on. And so I invite you all to continue to march on with us as time marches on, spiritual advisor. And who knows, one day, all of us will somehow find ourselves in a great beyond. But until then, we will continue to march toward freedom. We intend to do it right here on Freedom March. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Leland Miller. Bradley Roll is with me in studio. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM. You're listening to us on channel 224-112. That's Cable and Flow. And of course on ILTV Studios over on Facebook. I don't say that for the people that are already tuning in. I'm saying that so if you are listening to me, you get to go and call your friends and tell your friends to turn that thing off that they're listening to and to come over here and listen to us over here where we are on Freedom March. Why? Because the spiritual advisor has Holy Scripture for them. And
yes, I do.
And we've got a whole lot more to give you over here than you could get over there. It's as simple as that. So what does Holy Scripture have to say to us today, spiritual advisor?
James chapter 1, 19 to 20. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. And I think this is for me too. Yeah, because this scripture is pointing directly at me, and it's a lesson for us all. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Very powerful indeed. James chapter 1, 19 to 20, very short verse passage today. Read from the NIV, of course. It's in the Red Bible. You have to have a Red Bible to see this. So I would invite you to go and get one. The Word of God is forever and ever blessed. Thank you, Medusa.
Thank you very much, spiritual advisor. So there's a whole lot of things happening in and around Nassau. I see in the news this morning, the government of the Bahamas is once again touting no new taxes. Hey, spiritual advisor, that is...
I saw that.
That is what they are saying. But I read that story, and I'll tell you what is interesting to me. And this is why opposition forces must be formidable. They cannot be limp. They cannot be flaccid. They must be probing opposition forces. Because when opposition forces fail at their jobs, governments get to be lazy. It's as simple as that. And so what is happening is, right, we have an opposition that is fledgling at this point and falling apart for all intents and purposes. And because that is happening, governments get to yak out their one-trick pony. This isn't the first budget cycle where the government has beat their chest and throw confetti in the air and tell us about how they're not introducing any new taxes.
But the budget hasn't started yet, right?
But we in budget period. The end of this month, you wouldn't be able to get $1 out of government because all budgets are closed.
Yeah, okay.
And then June is when they enter all of the, and then July 1 is when the new budget comes out, yes?
Right, so this statement is coming from the Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah, and he's saying that whenever the Prime Minister gets on his foot to announce the budget,
there will be no
new taxes.
Okay, so we'll have to wait.
And he says that the deficit is going down. And I always laugh when I hear smart people talk about the deficit, right? Because you're a banker, I don't need to tell you this. So deficit spending is basically you learning how to better spend the money that you did not have. That's all deficit spending is. Yeah. Deficit spending is, I have $100, right? I went in the grocery store and I pick up $120 worth of stuff, knowing full well I only had $100.
Yeah. So you're in a deficit by $20.
And because I have credibility, the store man lets me carry the additional $20 worth of stuff because he knows next week I have the capability to earn $120. Now when I go to the store next week, right, I have a $20 overdraft.
But you spend $150.
This time I go on and spend $150.
Yeah. So now.
So when smart people tell me we've improved deficit spending, I mean, it's invisible money. Deficit spending isn't actual money. But when you say things like we have reduced the debt, that is the difference. Right? And again, this is why oppositions cannot be flailing, if you will. They cannot be soft. Oppositions have to be firm, spiritual advisor. Other than that, the government will come out every single time with their one trick, one trick pony. No new taxes. If you check the newspaper last year, the same thing. And if you check the year before that, it's the same trick. Right? And so what I want to know, though, is does the government have its feelers on the ground to see how this no new tax actually translates with Bahamians. What do Bahamians that want new houses feel? What do Bahamians that want new cars feel? Or are we at the point now where Bahamians are able to keep their light on and buy some grocery, and that is basically where they ought to be happy, and no one ought to aspire towards a middle class life? Because there was a time in the 90s where a family, a daddy and a mommy, and 3 children or 5 children could get on a plane, go to Orlando, do a week in a timeshare, rent a car the entire time, and eat fast food for the entire trip, come back and have all of their school uniform paid for, and possibly have 3 of the 5 children in a private or paid for institution. You agree?
Yeah, that was then.
That was the Bahamian dream. So we live now in an economy where, again, Michael Halkitis, for whatever it is worth, with all of his intelligence, comes out and says, when the Prime Minister gets on his foot to communicate the budget, you will hear that there are no new taxes. We know that what they've done is expanded the tax base through the reduction of VAT. You agree?
Right, yeah.
Because there were some things that were 0 rated. We did away with that because that was foolishness. And you make everything 10%. And so now some things that were I don't know, 7% on one end or 12% on one end, sorry, because that's what it was.
It's now 5%.
It's now 10%. And then they also did the thing where all uncooked food is now 5%, right? And do you ever really see that translate into your life? I cannot say yes or no. But the thing that gives me pause, spiritual advisor, is what we know is that for 2 years, the economy of the Bahamas stood still.
It's slowly growing.
I could wait.
It's growing.
No. Rewind a little further than that. From 2020.
It's growing slowly.
From 2020 to 2021 or 2, or from 2019, when was COVID? March 20th, 2019, right?
No.
March 20.
COVID hit us around March of
March
2020.
20th, 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020.
So for 2020, the economy stood still.
Yeah, 2021.
And for 2021, the economy stood still.
Right.
So for 2 years, the economy stood still. We are 4 years into a progressive Liberal Party administration. And yes, while they're able to tout things like they have reduced deficit spending, which again, I tell you, is only something that smart people like to cheerlead about, right? And while they can say things like we've stabilized the debt, and while they can say things like the international rating has improved our international rating credibility,
Yeah.
all of those things add to the country's borrowing ability. But what does that feel like in your house? And that is the question that I don't think we're getting to. What does that feel like when you desire to live a middle-class life? That is the question I don't think we're getting to. And so I'm hopeful that Michael wrong Michael. The other one that could actually get some things done, that Michael Halkitis actually takes another trick out of his smart people bag, because the no new tax trick is a trick we've seen before, and I don't really need to see that again. The question is, Michael, help me, how do we get people who ordinarily weren't in debt, who ordinarily wasn't at the cap of their debt serviceability, what they would call a debt service ratio, who ordinarily did not have inflated interest rates because of bad payment, who ordinarily may not have found themselves on the wrong side of the credit rating as far as the credit bureau requirements are now suggesting for some people. But because they lived during the period of the competent authority where they could not earn at the levels that they were capable of earning at for a period of 2 years, found themselves in a quagmire. And the question becomes not how we can continue to help the economy expand, because that is what I hear the Prime Minister saying today in the news. Oh, we need more imports because the economy is expanding, and as the economy expands, tourist dollars will get into the economy and people will be able to get jobs, etc., etc. And that is true. The question for me, though, is how do we erase the issue that occurred in 2020 and in all of 2021? And I argue, because I'm no accountant, I'm no economist, I'm simply a poor black boy with an Angliston, so no one ever really needs to listen to me, right? I argue that it may be time to simply, one, freeze interest rates and cut the prime by half for 2 years. That is the only way Bahamians can actually catch back up to pre-2020 levels of credibility. That is the only way to ensure that we have businesses booming because people can go and borrow money now. That is the way we reduce people's mortgages. That is the way we reduce their car payments and give them an opportunity to actually see their salaries have better and bigger spending power. And don't tell me it's impossible. Switzerland has a 7% prime rate. And I get it. 4.5% isn't horrible. There are some people that have 7.5%. I get that. There are some people that have 6%. I get that. But the question becomes, in a small economy, largely driven by tourism, where tourist numbers were non-existent for almost 2 years, how do we get people back to the position where they are not starting from the deficit? And to continue to tell me that we're not adding any new bills is encouraging, but that doesn't feel good to me, because there are people who also in this tax ducking society used to duck taxes like inland revenue tax, property taxes. This government has made it a little more difficult to do that. There are some people that used to duck custom tariffs and etc. This government has made it a little more difficult to do that. And so in the instances where people would offset their taxes because they were able to duck the taxes, people thought they were breaking even. But now you have a situation where people have bottomed out for 2 years, found themselves in a mortgage crisis, and Hubert Minnis created a mortgage crisis. There's no way around that. Hubert Ingram wouldn't stop letting Habib from Trinidad call me on the phone every week and ask me why I ain't pay my mortgage. Like, pandemic was happening in Trinidad. I trying to figure out how come Habib still have a job, because I don't have none. And he get to call me every day on the phone to ask me what's going on with my mortgage. And the only thing I could tell Lil Habib is, listen, Minnis tell me don't come outside. I don't know what you want me to do, but no mortgage. Minnis also told the man living in my house that he didn't have to pay me any rent because he ain't had no job. And that spiraled into a mortgage crisis. So how do we rescue people from there first, Michael, and then say to them, now that you're catching yourself, we will burden you no further? Because to say to me that you just ain't adding no more bill doesn't really help me if all I have is a bunch of bill. So Michael, I've seen the one-trick pony of the no new taxes. I've heard it. It's wonderful, actually. But what does that translate into for the average Bahamian? What does it translate into for Bahamians buying homes? Why are we still so heavily collateralizing house mortgages? Why do I need 5 to 7% or 5 to 10% of a down payment for a mortgage? And for that mortgage that I put 5 or 10% down on, why do I also need full homeowners insurance, life insurance for both me and my co-signer, right? The mortgage payment, the what you call the thing, the property. There's just so much collateralization that goes into getting a house that if I miss and don't pay for, the bank will come take, because that is the asset. And even though the bank owns the asset, they still want me to sign away every single thing that reduces my buying and spending power. And so I don't know, right? And then of course you have the people who have been in service, those people that are leaving service. Why are their medical insurances still going up so quickly when many of them have lost their health to life in service? Their back never used to hurt before they was a Marine seaman. Their foot, their ankle never hurt before they was a Marine seaman. And now their foot and ankle is hurt. And the insurances are going up. And so I say, Michael, help me. Help me to help Bahamians help you. Because I feel like you won't get elected this time, right? I don't know why you'd vote that. You could just keep going through the Senate. That looked like the best way to go. But we have to do something about the way these tax breaks and incentives translate to Bahamians. What is the benefit of being a good, law-abiding, tax-paying citizen of the Commonwealth? How do I say that I'm going to pay my taxes this year? It's because I know that paying my taxes will result in me getting this break or that break or this thing. And so the reason I don't want to be late with government taxes, the reason I want to pay my NIB, the reason I want to do all of these other things that government needs in order to ramp up its revenue, I do them because there is benefit associated with being a citizen of that magnitude. Then you could come and tell me, we ain't adding no more tax. And I would throw confetti in the air for you. But until we could get these things right? Until we do things like possibly slash the prime rate just for 2 years to make up for the 2 years that we lost. Until we could do things like maybe have the insurance companies also fix whatever their rating is to the prime rate so that those things could come down. Because these old fellas die and they can't afford no insurance. Until we could actually, figure out how to get people back to pre-COVID financial statuses, I don't think this bunch of clapping on for no new taxes is enough. And that's just my view. But I blame the opposition. And at this point, I say that if the opposition isn't going to be serious about being the opposition, then they might as well just move a vote of no contest in the upcoming election, save themselves the embarrassment, right? One or two of them could just, don't worry about crossing no floor, just resign from the FNM, and then we can pick you up as an FNA. And when the FNA takes over the opposition, the PLP will have to do some work because the FNA will not be a fledgling opposition for us. You like the way that sounds, spiritual advisor?
Oh, well, sounds interesting, but what's the reality in that?
Yeah. Policy number 1, we outlaw on Japanese car.
That'd be a big mistake.
Policy number 2, we got to figure out policy number 2. Policy number 2, we're not importing no more coconut or mango. All these coconut and mango around here, we can figure out a way to put that in the national plan.
Well, that's a good
What
plan.
policy number 3?
That's a good plan.
I mean, we just doing these things right off the cuff. Policy number 3, when we're government, we cutting the prime rate by 2%. Or half, whatever, however you want to do the math. Anyway, you hear the jingle, we're going to the break. Don't go anywhere. I'm leaving Miller. Bradley Roll is with me. We'll be right back on Freedom March.
This segment of Freedom March is brought to you by Modernistic Garden and Pet Supply. For top quality dog food, shop online at modernisticgarden.com or visit our Palmdale, Carmichael, and Mullet Marathon locations today.
Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Leland Miller. Bradley Roll is with me. Spiritual advisor.
Are your dogs hungry and tired of low-quality food? Give them the best at Modernistic. We carry all the top brands. Taste of the Wild, Diamond Naturals, Victor, Anukshuk at the lowest prices in town. If you're on a budget, we've got 50-pound bags starting at just $49. And for a limited time, buy any large bag of dog food and get a $10 coupon redeemable on select dog toys and treats. If you can't make it in, shop online at www.modernisticgarden.com and we'll deliver right to your door. Your pet deserves quality, your wallet deserves savings. Shop in store or shop online today. Hurry, offer won't last.
Thank
you. Producer, back to you.
Thank you, spiritual advisor. And so, like I was saying before we went to the break, I see people are very excited about the government and its no new tax. I see that all of the government's talking heads are out and about trying to convince people why it is a good or a bad thing. Well, a good thing. I'm not ambivalent about it. What I am is, just not as excited as everybody else wants us to be. And it's simply because I've heard it before. I've seen it before. It is a clear sign to me that oppositions aren't doing what they should be doing. And it's because Michael seems to just be so caught up on whether or not the Prime Minister thinks that his employee was credible or whether or not he has actually done any work. So, Michael, let me tell you what I like to do. Because I don't just like to offer, chastisement without some sort of advisement. And so, producer, please put up the picture of my NIB contribution, right? Because this you could literally just do this and end it, right? So there's the header. Put up the header first so that they know it's mine. Do you have it? Yeah. And this would just put the sleeping dog to sleep, and we would know exactly who was responsible for your income over the last, how old you is now, 62 years? And there would be no need for anybody anywhere to question anything because it would just be a public document. And these things are public documents. And I don't think they need to cause this amount of hoo-ha. Not that. That's the letter. That coming next. Let's go to there's the letterhead, the heading, whatever that thing is. You don't have it? Oh boy. Anyway, so what about the video? You have the video of the scroll. Play the video. So, Jesus, can you zoom that? Well, anyway, all along there, what you can see are the people that have paid my NIB contributions throughout my entire 23 years of working. And there it is. So start from the beginning so they can see it again. And it says very clearly who paid me throughout the course of my life. So no one, nowhere, could say that anyone didn't in fact pay me to do a service. It says right there, the government of the Bahamas, 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 the government of the Bahamas. That was when I was giving them my life as a young boy. And then, at some point, I decided that I was too old for that bunch of running up and down, and that the only way you'd get me to run is if somebody pull a gun on me, and then you note, no, don't take it off, just pause it, put it back. And then you will note that a guy by the name of, get this, Levan Miller started paying my NIB. And I liked working for him, and he was wonderful. And I said, wow, he's such a great boss. I just want to only work for him. And so you will see that my insurance, my national insurance, was paid for by Levan Miller, Levan Miller, Levan Miller, Levan Miller, Levan Miller, 1,000 more times, Levan Miller. Scroll it up. See, and Michael, this is the way you just let the scandal go away, And then you will note that Levan Miller just kept on paying my NIB. So if somebody tells you that I am tap dancing or stop, let's pause it, or I don't know, toting water for somebody because they paid my salary, I have the NIB contributions to prove that nothing could be further from the truth. Yeah, Michael, this is how you make it go away, Michael. And then, get this, a company starts paying my NIB. And you can see it right there. So if you wanted to know exactly who I was beholden to, you could say, well, this company here paid his NIB for a little bit. Let's see who those people are. And if you raise up the skirt of the company, you will find out exactly who the partners are. And I invite anybody to please, you know how y'all like to leak the stuff, or I don't know what y'all is doing, those little crony groups. Go back to my clip, producer. Just raise up the skirt of this company and you could see exactly who are the people in the company. Now let it play. And then when I get tired of them, because at some point some of them did make me kind of tired, guess who started paying my NIB again? The government of the Bahamas, the government of the Bahamas, the government of the Bahamas, the government of the Bahamas. And so, Michael, you come back to me. Why would you let Philip Davis dress you down in public like that and tell you ain't had no job and now you hot and water and getting all sweaty? You say election coming in September. You've not appointed a single person on your nomination ticket yet. You could literally make sure you put up the header so they could see that I'm making that information up. This is where it come from. See it right there? What does it say?
Your contribution history.
My contribution history. These things are public. They're public documents.
See now, let me tell you where this becomes so unfair, right? To the leader of the opposition. He is not given, well, I don't feel as if he's been given a chance to prove yay or nay. Something's just been spewed out saying that he didn't have a real job.
Man, you're talking foolishness. I ain't listening to that. The man
I
has come out
know
and
if he has
say
even proved that to
all
anybody.
kind of foolishness.
He don't have
The
to prove
Prime
that.
Minister don't have
But he don't have to prove that to
The
anybody.
Prime Minister simply said, this boy ever had a job? Well, Michael, if you ever had a job, just go and ask for your NIB contribution
No, he
report
don't have to
and
do
produce
that.
it.
He doesn't have to do that.
Oh,
because
boy.
NIB contributions
But the Prime Minister makes a very valid
are
point.
there.
Who was paying you, son? Because we assume that whoever was paying you, you might owe them a debt of gratitude. You disagree with that?
Why?
Because if you ain't never had no job, but someone saw it fitting to pay
You don't have to
you.
prove that the Prime Minister made a real job
boy.
or not. As a matter of fact, I think the Prime Minister even agrees that that's
boy.
something he should have not mentioned.
And then he goes and run on and on and on about whether or not the sale, the money from the sale of the Lucayan is in the bank yet and all sorts of things. And I'm saying, Michael, let's focus, man. Put together a team. Because I used to be FNM, you know. I tell you, I am an I for Tanya FNM.
That was just one short season.
And the only reason I'm
and
an
the
FNM now is because I's a FNA now.
Who, Tanya McCartney?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And Lincoln, I finally found a happy medium. Since you can't have a coalition of independents, because that don't make sense and it's kind of scatterbrained, we could be the coalition of FNAs. Because that could work in the English language. Spiritual. You don't think that could work? What that would mean is if you thought the FNA had plenty people, you have no idea how many FNAs there really are. And when we collate, there's no way they're going to be the spiritual advisor. How are they going to do it? Because the opposition just isn't over there oppositioning like how they should opposition, and I have a problem with that. Michael seems to be concerned with every single other possible thing than trying to keep the government actually doing some work. And listen, when I say governments have used this as a one-trick pony, I mean successive governments to date, you know. Because the oppositions have just been so weak and crybaby-ish and unsettled and give me some more adjectives.
I don't know if the opposition has been weak, you know. I mean, I don't think I agree with that because there were times when the opposition, even in the House,
trying to make so the
tried to push their agenda, try to push their side of the government, and they were silenced basically by the Speaker of the House, you know. So
yes, but guess where the people are? Guess where the people are? The people are in the square, spiritual advisor. And we live in 2025 where everybody, anywhere with a mic and a camera could put on a production.
Okay.
And the FNM, I should be seasick of hearing the FNM's position. At least you know if you vote for the FNA, Japanese cars are gone.
Well,
At least you know if you vote for the FNA, no one is going to own their own coconut tree. All coconut trees and mango trees belong to the state. At least you know that. You know that that's our policy position. Tell me what is the policy position of the FNM presently? I don't know. Okay, no problem. Tell me who are some of the forerunning bright minds in the party that have public positions. Most of the people that want to run for them don't even have public positions. I've never heard a single public position from these people. But they mad at me for starting my own party. Spiritual?
Well. It has all started, eh?
And then,
Election fever.
hold on, man, I ain't finished yet. You have my resignation letter from last week? And then they put out a 3-month-old resignation letter and say, well, I ain't sure what they say.
Well, you explained that isn't really a resignation letter. You says that it was a 3-year contract.
Yeah.
And that you have no intentions to
proceed.
But the thing is, though, here's what I don't understand. What made you think that at the end of the 3 year, they wouldn't engage you for another year?
Because I ain't available for engaging.
Why you preempt them?
What you mean, why I preempt them? When I came, you say, do this thing for 3 years. I did it. With all my might.
No. Okay,
blessed
hold on.
assurance,
Just
Jesus
give me a
is
second. Give me a second. The former commander of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, did he put in his letter when they told him that his
You want me to tell you what the wind tell me?
the tenure was for 3, let's just say his tenure was three years. That's just 3 years. Did he put in his resignation and say, listen, when I finish my 3 years, I don't want to be considered
You
for
want me to
another
tell
3
you what
years?
the wind tell me?
Did he do it that way?
I asked you if you want me to tell you what the
Well,
wind
I ain't
told
worrying
me.
about the wind. I just trying to figure out why you preempt the government.
I didn't preempt them. I am my own free person. Put my letter up from last week, the one they leaked, right?
Who leaked this?
Monday. And if you check the date, because I have to talk about these things, because every time I go outside, people keep asking me about these things. But do you realize that the date on my letter precedes Rodney Monk is dying? Yeah? Fantastic. It precedes my coming here to host this show? Yeah? It precedes all sorts of things, which means this was my intention from the very beginning. There is no hidden hand. And I resigned from the PLP's appointment, but that wasn't the first time I resigned. Put up my other letter. Because I just resigned from things. And if you look at my resignation this time, is no intention to proceed. My resignation that time, which I will read, says, I regret to inform that I find myself at a crossroad with this administration and their handling of many issues. I am conflicted in my ability to go further as an appointee of this administration. And that is very small. Zoom it in for me. And I deem this a kerfuffle, to say the least. I realize that my contract expires August 17, 2020, and while I believe that the NHI is going in the right direction and that we have done all that we can to ensure that we have provided affordable access to healthcare to all Bahamians in a way that is considered a shared responsibility, I cannot say that I agree with the goings-on and the happenings of this current administration. I understand appointments come with a level of expectation. And since I can no longer meet that expectation, I realize that if I continue on my current trajectory, there is no way that I can serve the interests of the governing party as a member of the board of NHI. It brings me great regret to tender my resignation with effect from today's date, which is the day that my contract ended. August 17, 2020.
That's when the FNM was in power.
This is what I'm trying to tell you all.
So
I don't understand. When the PLP give me a job, I resign. When the FNM give me a job, I resign.
No, don't try that. No.
Grace and mercy.
No, come on, man. Don't do that. You resign before they fire you.
Who?
You got the contract on the F&M, you're a PLP.
Yes, well, okay, so if I was a PLP, why did the F&M give me a contract?
Well, I don't know.
And you say the PLP ain't give you no contract because you say
No,
F&M?
yeah.
So what make me
that's
special,
straight up.
more special than Bradley?
No, you just resigned because you saw the handwriting on the wall. I mean, that was simple, eh?
No. So I'm saying to people, I don't know how people continue to concoct all of these stories about what my intentions are and who pay me. And I hear some foolishness last week say, Jomo paying me 2 salaries so I can. And I don't know what it is. I keep telling y'all, listen to me. Do not eat corned beef after 7 o'clock at night. It's as simple as that. Eating that corned beef, the English word is dyspeptic. It will make you dyspeptic. And the old people is say, and colicky. And from you have colic. My brother, you can't sleep. You can't wake. I mean, you understand what I'm saying, you spiritual advisor? So I don't understand. Let me read the last piece of my letter, please. I like when I resign.
Yeah, I see what happened.
What is it? As I will not be seeking a renewal, and I look forward to NHI carrying on its mandate of providing affordable access to quality health care that is a shared responsibility in the future. With great regret. You notice when I resign this time, I say, forever in allegiance? It is because I was so distraught that I had to resign from the NHI. I didn't like that job so much.
Yeah, but the F&M was in power.
It's I for Tanya F&M.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, boy. Spiritual advice, I don't know what it would take.
Anyhow, but so your tour of duty with the fish fry has come to an end.
It is coming to an end. Yeah.
And you don't see anything you could do to help improve the fish fry.
I have a plethora of things that I could do to
So why
improve
didn't
the fish fry.
allow the government to make a decision on
Because
that? You make a decision before the government makes a decision.
But it is my decision to make.
Okay.
Because I have already done a plethora. You remember Pookie killed the boy Odette the other day? We catch Pookie faster than you could say Jack Robinson.
It took them a while though. Don't say
We catch Pookie faster than you could say Jack Robinson. And you know how come? It's because the manager of Arawaki has been there doing work. And so Pookie, if you come out here to shoot your gun.
Who put the cameras up?
You will not. Huh?
Who put the cameras up?
Well, you know, I know camera put her upper. So, no, I didn't put the camera up physically. That's what you're asking me. I as a manager. You know what my job is? My job is to put my hand in my
those
Kimber.
cameras went up under your service.
Man, go check the timeline. As a manager, it's my job to put my hand in my Kimber, to point, and to ask, why the hell this thing here? That's my 3 jobs. And nobody could beat me pointing. I have lone picture of me pointing with my hand in my Kimber.
I will check with the bishop and Paul Willie. Let me see what's happening.
Boy, I tell you a long time, stop listening to them.
I check.
They Philistines.
Let me check and find out. But listen, while you are on the subject of no taxes, listen to me, people, before you all judge me, because we got some people.
That sound like
we got some people who ain't say it. All right, a very interesting person who listens to the show every day. Good afternoon, Mr. Miller. And good afternoon to the spiritual advisor. Hope all is well with both of you guys. Just a concern about taxes. I went into the Water and Sewage Corporation today, and I noticed that there is a $20 tax that takes effect on the 1st of May 2025.
Okay.
And there's also a $2 addition for VAT, which, when you look at your bills, you'll notice that there's a $22 increase. Now you have your bills done for business purposes. Okay, I don't understand that. But it says if you look at your bill, the water and sewage bill as of the 1st of May, you'll see that there is a $22 increase in charges. Now, then that goes totally
What
against...
is it showing up as on the bill?
He said he's going to send me a copy of the bill.
Yeah, because I would like to see what is the inscription beside the $22. Because here's the thing. if you're saying to me that water and sewage is switching out analog meters for digital meters,
Yeah,
there may be
that's
a
the
one-time,
project.
but there might be a one-time fee for that.
Well, now that's the problem. You have to explain to customers why these new taxes are being added to your
But
bill.
it's not a tax. No. See, no. Tax is for invisible things. You agree? Come on, you work in a bank. You work in a bank.
Okay.
Tax is
Well,
for
what?
invisible
Like
things.
say for services you don't see.
Precisely.
Yeah, but you no.
But if you
but
give
what
me
the bank
banana
does though, the banks
and I
explain-
give you peel,
No.
how
no,
you
no,
say
no,
I
no.
tax you?
The banks, whenever they're going to increase charges, they always notify customers and get them to understand that we're reducing the interest rate on savings account from 3% to 2%.
And what is it ever tied to? Them,
That's what I'm saying.
the insurance people. I wasn't going to call the real name because just in case we need them. Them, the insurance people that could jack up my insurance 20% without asking me nothing, no matter how I feel. The insurance people that could reduce the coverage on BDF Marines the minute they retire. Huh? You see, you have to. These people, they like to practice gangsterism.
So if
A lot of these things, really and truly, they cannot justify or quantify. They just get to do them.
but with water and sewage,
But if water and sewage say, listen, take this shiny new meter. We need $22. That's not a tax.
It's a digital. So what is it? We're paying for the meter. All they have to do is say, listen, man, in order to change your meter from analog to digital, we're going to increase the rental on your meter.
Then you
That's
know
all
what
they
you
had
would
to do.
say. Then you know what you would say. You
And
would
then
say,
now we would understand
No.
up front that the tax on
no,
the
because
meter
then you would say,
has increased.
oh, now you're adding this thing to my bill. How I can know when it come off my bill and la 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 la. One time, you can pay this one-time fee.
That ain't what is being said. We don't
Bring
understand that.
me the bill. I want to see the
Yeah.
actual
So
inscription. Because you could call anything a tax. What I'm saying to you is tax is for invisible things. So if the thing ain't invisible, it ain't a tax.
Well, listen, we're going to look at the bill, and if you listening to this show, look at your water bill, and you'll see effective May the 1st that there's a $22 increase in your service charge.
Someone send me a water and sewage bill, please, because I'm not sure if something don't sound right about that.
What
It's as
isn't
simple as that.
right about it? I mean, the
Because
customer...
you can't say you're getting a new piece of hardware that there is a
All right,
bill associated.
so water and sewage should explain why they're increasing the tax side of your bill by $22.
You keep saying this case word. It's not a
Okay,
tax.
so here's what they do. They charge you based on the amount of gallons of water you use.
Uh-huh.
Right? So up to 500 gallons, they charge you this. Up to 800 gallons, they charge you this. Up to 1,000 gallons, they charge you this. Right? Now, they also have a meter rental fee that you pay. You recognize that, right? Mm-hmm. Or you don't recognize that?
There's the meter rental fee, and then there's the water usage
Consumption, right. And then there's the VAT
fee. Okay.
that gives you your total. So apart from all of that, there's an additional $22 in there.
Yes, but if the $22 is on a line by itself, I want to know what.
So we'll
is
see.
that. That's what I want to know.
We'll see what that breakdown is.
Anyway, in other news, right, I understand the Shannon on card right is being caseoed by all the people down there in St. Barnabas who have, through the grapevine, heard that he intends to hightail out of St. Barnabas spiritual advisor. But I don't understand their dismay. They said the Shannon on Cartwright's representation in the neighborhood just hasn't been as shining. And I'm saying to you that, well, that's easy to tell. Put the picture up of Shannon on Cartwright's. Yeah, Shannon on Cartwright's headquarters just isn't as shiny. You could tell from this ad hoc nonsense that they have going on here, right? Because I put this up before. You've seen it before. Who invests in a mural, right? Only to put it up, only to then take this piece of nonsense and attach it to it. I remember the glory days when he was Beaches and Parks chairman, when he just had manpower at a whim, and he could just call people and they would come and put up sign. You remember when the election was called abruptly? No one had more poster up than Shannon Dawn Cartwright, post haste, as a matter of fact, right? And I'm telling you, as somebody that stays in the inner city with quite a bit of regularity, that I see him. And I just be there almost every day. I remember when I used to see him quite regular on his bicycle. But who knows, maybe he has a bad knee. I know he used to play basketball. So I'm saying to you, right, spiritual advisor, One thing I like is when the whisperers start talking to the spiritual, he sees ignore me.
Go
But
ahead. What you say?
maybe if they simply nominated him in St. Barnabas, the story would go away.
And which story is this?
The one that says that the people are upset with him because they hear he going to run in the West. And all I'm saying is,
how credible is that?
we ain't have to, listen to me, man. You don't have to worry about credibility. We ain't trying to be credible. We speculating.
Yeah, so don't speculate.
You can't
Wait
tell
until
us what to do.
No, you got to wait to hear from the MP.
And you know what we can do in the meantime? We could case you out,
Okay,
and
so-
we can just say
so-
all kind of things.
so here's what I
when
got.
you could simply nominate the man, and the story will go away.
So what I'll do, let me go to the horse's mouth.
Oh boy. I just hope you don't go to the horses thing.
Yeah, because right now we're heading from the other end.
I hope you don't go to the horses thing. Anyway, you had a jingle. Don't go anywhere. I can wake on this spiritual advisor. Shannon on Cartwright is falling apart in St. Barnabas, and I can't tell you what's wrong. Just nominate the man. But until then, we'll be back on Freedom March. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Leland Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 FM, The Beat, Bradley Rule, The spiritual advisor is with me in studio. Unsaved, I could tell you that, because the spiritual advisor let somebody tell him that I need to get my facts correct, because I like to speculate. And all I say to that is, right, in the absence of information, the imagination runs wild. So the best way to quell or cure speculation is very simple. You inject information. If the question was asked today, Livin, you just as row on this TV all the time, you ever had a real job? My answer would simply be yes. And here are the NIB contributions to prove my life's work. If someone say to me, Livin, all you just do is run on and on and on and on and on this TV, you just go to work? I would simply say yes. Here is my contract with the last 70 days on it that I have to still work for Jomo. All you need to do is inject information, spiritual advisor, because the minute information becomes available, there is no more grounds for speculation. And so I don't know why you just even listen to them people. Let me tell you what I wish for you. I wish the next time it rain, you person, water go in your phone line. And I want BTC or whichever one of them other phone company to can't find which wire is yours. And I want your phone to have static in it for 7 non-stop months. Every time you pick it up, just static, no dial tone. And I also want your cell phone to never wake while you're home. That's what I want for you. Yeah.
We got some birthdays, do we?
You sure?
Do you have any birthdays today, producer? All right, so let's do some birthday shout-outs.
Let's do
and then after that, you continue on your rant.
I know one thing. The next time it rains, you watch.
So, who's first in line, producer? Happy birthday goes out to, look like Dion. Oh, Dion Delante. Mr. International. Oh, yeah, Mr. International.
When I met him, he had a big title, you know. He would, what was it?
Yeah, what does that mean, though?
Mr. International.
Yeah, why is he?
He known worldwide.
AKA.
He like pine sol. Even if you say it in China, they would know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Mr. International. Dion
All right,
Delante.
so happy birthday goes out to Mr. International, Dion Delante. Coming from all his family members and friends, especially your dad.
Yeah.
And of course, we here at Freedom March crew, and everybody else who's been a part of this group since the inception. So happy birthday to Dion Delante. Delante.
Oh,
They say you're 39.
yeah.
Boy, you beat that bad too. Anyhow, nevertheless, that's our boy, man. That's our boy. Happy birthday, Mr. Delante. God bless you, my brother. Sam Winters is celebrating the birthday. Happy birthday to Sam Winters. Sam Chip Winters, coming from his loving wife, Frederica Winters, and children, Kira and Deisha, and grandchildren from her mother-in-law, Annie Roberts, and brother-in-law, Herbie Roberts, and all the Roberts. Anyhow, let me do this. To R.J. Roberts, Preston Roberts, Dr. Christopher Roberts, Police Corporal June Roberts, sister-in-law Erlene, Carmen and Doris, Aunt Ena Knowles, Bernice Wells, George Wells, Cynthia Roberts, Sam Roberts, and all the Roberts. May the Spirit of God continue to dwell around you and your family with good health and long life. Continue to pray, let God fight your battle. He's a burden bearer and a battle fighter. Have a great day. They love you. Happy birthday to Sam Benders. Godfrey Cox, happy 87th birthday greetings to Godfrey. Now, one saying Cox, next one saying Fox.
He looked like a fox to me. Because I look at that, I know he don't have an ounce of cox in him.
So he doesn't suck a cock's breast.
Well, say the sentence a little faster.
As Rodney would say.
I don't know, but I could look as I look on him with my 2 eyes. I know what cox people look like.
So, Godfrey, are you a
like
cox or are you a fox? Fox?
Yeah, I put my money on Fox.
Okay, so happy 87th birthday goes to Godfrey Fox.
Yeah,
coming from his wife, Mary, children Elizabeth, Kathy, and especially Sally. Grand and great grandchildren, they love you, Papa. Papi.
He's 86.
Enjoy your life. Enjoy your day. Sorry. Yeah, he's 87 actually.
Wow.
All right, boy, God has blessed him.
Yeah.
87 and still going strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Anthony Harris is celebrating the birthday. Happy 19th birthday to Gad Anton Harris, coming from his parents, Superintendent Garth and Nursing Officer Donald Harris, siblings and grandparents Sally and Addie. Danae, shout out to Danae on her B-Day greetings coming from her mom, Margot, brothers, Kieran and Devin, nephew, Carrie and Grammy. Charlie, they love you to the moon and back and wishing you all the best in the future. Chelsea Burton. Happy birthday to Chelsea Burton. Chelsea, you lead Queenie Burton from Father Burton and the rest of the family. Happy birthday to you, Chelsea Burton. Angel Hannah is celebrating birthday. Happy birthday to you, Angel. Coming from your mom, your dad, staff members at Slate Tech, Neil, and Beauty Salon. And also from yours truly. The spiritual advisor send you a happy birthday, Angel.
Now, her mommy name her Angel or you calling her Angel?
Her name is Angel.
Okay, very good.
Mind you, that's exactly what she looks like, an angel.
I thought they used to wear white. Why does Angel have on black?
Ah, that's interesting.
Is she an angel of destruction?
Oh, Jesus, I don't know. But she's a nice girl. Angel, happy birthday to you. All the best. Enjoy,
all right, Angel.
Enjoy your day.
And who the birthday wish them from?
Her mom, her dad, and of course the staff at Slate Tech, Nail and Beauty Salon. And then, of course, me, the spiritual advisor. So, fans.
You know something?
Happy birthday.
Do you have any more of these birthday shout outs?
Happy birthday to Angel.
Oh, boy.
Now, Brianna needs your help. Brianna needs your help, okay? Brianna Tooth is a young warrior battling MG, known as myasthenia gravis.
Wow.
A rare and challenging neuromuscular disease. Her family is raising medical funds to support her training. They're selling awareness t-shirts for just $25, and every dollar going directly towards her treatment. No interest in a shirt. No problem. Donations are also welcome. To pre-order donate, simply use the banking details on the flyer or contact the numbers listed for information. All right, so Brianna, Brania, needs your help. All right, I think...
Is that everybody?
I think that's it.
And to my sister who had a birthday on yesterday. I love you so much, my darling sister, Jody, all the way in Freeport, Grand Mama. If you are watching right now, because I can't really think about what else you could be doing, or if you are somebody that knows her, you call her and you tell her that her brother has said, happy birthday. And I called her yesterday, spiritual. I wasn't like how I forget on Mother's Day. I remember this time, her birthday was yesterday. You know, my old man was so hard that we only months apart. But that was another time for another topic, or another topic for another time. But my sister is having a birthday, or had a birthday yesterday, and so I want to say happy birthday to her, and I hope she lived to see many more.
Producer, anyhow, you go ahead. You have anything else you want to do? Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Your people send you the receipt yet for this? Because they like to send you these bunch of sketchy information.
They have some details.
That's how I know there's F&Ms.
They have some details for me. When we go into 5:30 break, I'll get all the details. But I see in the newspaper where the Minister of Health is saying that the international, the IDB, is going to make available some $1.7 million for health care and development in the Bahamas. I think this money is going to be used to purchase vehicles. Now here's what I want to understand. Producer, you see me have a photo of a crashed Toyota Hi-Ace. Let me just say this to the Minister of Health. There's been an ongoing problem with the ambulance project. The government got into a contract where they bought about 15 ambulances that were standard shift. Very small indeed, and the average man can't get into the ambulance. Let me just say this to the Minister of Health. In all fairness to you, Dr. Darwell, I do believe that your heart is in the right place. I do believe that. But of course, it does seem as if some of the policies adopted, some of the transactions that the Ministry of Health is engaging in is not helping the public. A very serious accident took place on Coral Harbor Road, not too far from Odyssey. Serious injuries involved, extensive damages to vehicles. Dr. Dowell, could you explain to me why it took an hour and 10 minutes for an ambulance to arrive at this scene? 1 hour and 10 minutes. And the police have this recorded. Now, we engaging with the IDB for another $1 million to assist with the medical or healthcare system in the Bahamas, and we can't fix our ambulance problem. And I have an axe to grind in this case, because this accident is a brother from the Lord's church. And you know what happened? A private vehicle had to take him to the hospital because there was no ambulance available to serve him. Is this what we call good medical healthcare service in Bahamas? When the ambulance came, there was just enough space to carry just one person. So it took the female, who I understand, and our prayers and thoughts goes out to her and her family. We understand she's not doing well.
How many people do ambulances typically carry?
Well, I was going to advance that argument, yes. And so let's leave it to the one person.
Okay.
But why we couldn't get within that 1 hour and 10 minutes 2 ambulances? 1 hour and 10 minutes and one ambulance show up. The other person had to be taken to the hospital via private vehicle. Because this brother says to himself that yes, he has a whiplash and he's experiencing pain in his back and legs. Mm-hmm. But the female was in much worse condition than he was. So in his mind, she should be the one who should really get that ambulance up at this time. Mm-hmm. But both of them were deserving of medevac services. Mm-hmm. And it didn't happen. Mm. When are we going to fix this? Those ambulances are sitting right there on Thomas Boulevard, mm-hmm. because they don't have any drivers. And because they have disputes going on where people are sitting out. They have medevac service personnel who are sitting out because of labor disputes currently going on in the Ministry of Health.
So is an EMT the same thing as an ambulance driver?
No.
Because I think I have an idea.
Well, they both do. I mean, you have ambulance drivers who does the same thing.
Well, maybe we should change that model.
You see what I'm saying? So they drive the ambulance, and they also render the service.
Maybe we should change that model.
But my message,
the problem with the Bahamas is a lot of the systems that we've built no longer serve us. And we have simply not revamped them because we put public servants in place and then they can't lose their job whether they're successful or not. So we might as well look at simply hiring an ambulance driver corps. And then that way, you don't need an EMT or anybody with a specialty. You just need somebody that can pass.
Well, I mean, I understand it, but that's not a part of the argument now. My point is this. Why? On God's green earth, you have 15 brand new ambulances.
And no one to drive it.
Right? And it took an hour and 10 minutes to come to a serious accident.
You say because they don't have no one to drive it. And I understand
so
one of the issues
is that the case?
You say that, what you mean?
No, I'm just saying that I understand these new ambulances purchased were manual transmission.
And therefore they can't find no one to drive
So you don't
it.
think there are people that can drive them?
Beloved, listen to what I'm saying to you. In the present circumstance, possibly not. All of the people in their employ may not have the capacity.
So why in the first place would we purchase or go into a contract to buy standard vehicles?
Because you purchase what is available.
That doesn't, that doesn't make any sense.
It is not a sin to buy.
It's counterproductive.
It is not a sin though. So all you
yes, it is a sin.
All you would need to do is figure out a way to hire a driver that may not necessarily be what we call it, EMT or
EMS
personnel. And all I'm saying to you is, we got one bunch of bus drivers around here who tired of being bus drivers.
No. We don't need them.
I can tell you one thing.
We don't want them to drive the ambulance.
You can't get
I can tell you the way I see bus drivers drive,
I'm not listening to you.
I would never put any family member who I hate on a bus.
I'm not listening to you. And only people that don't
that's what I love.
See, the one thing I like to do
is
I like to smell the baby pampers
disqualify
I like to smell
drivers,
the baby pampers
right away.
to find out what in the pampers. Can you, for the sake of information, tell the public when was the last time Bradley Roll sat on a public transportation
I don't
vehicle?
sit on one.
No.
To see
Can
the
you
destruction and the
Can
mayhem.
you, for the sake of information, tell
I
the
just
listening
observed.
public, observe my foot. Can you tell the listening public?
Bus drivers are the worst drivers in this country.
And it is only the people that never take the bus that think that.
Fighting for that $1.50 and
And it is
$1.75,
only
man.
the people that
Breaking
take
every
the
traffic.
bus that
Hey, if you go to traffic court, 99% of those cases are bus drivers.
It's because they're targeted. It's because they're targeted by policemen.
Man,
Oh, mommy.
Yeah, you
I can tell you. Let me.
you compromise.
I can tell you what's happening. What's happening is they daddy hate the bus driver because the bus driver used to practice whoopsie with their mummy. And they daddy grew up hating bus drivers and then send him to go be a police.
There's no hate.
I telling you what
There's
happened.
no hate involved.
I telling
bus
you
drivers
what
just
happened.
break all the rules. Bus drivers break
For
all
the
the rules.
purpose of the people that listen.
Telling you.
For the purpose of the people that are listening, can you please state for the public record, when is the last time you took a public transportation vehicle?
And so when you do that, what are you hoping to prove?
Man, then you are not qualified to talk about the bus.
No, I qualify. These bus drivers, they fly past you every day and stop in the middle of the road to let passengers
Now
on
you
and off.
starting to argue your case like a Bahamian woman.
You know what I'm saying? No,
All
but
right,
that's
because
all right, you know
because
what?
you arguing something that you cannot verify.
When we open the lines, we can see something.
No, I
can
ain't
see.
talking to them. I mean
We
you.
can see something.
When is the last time
I don't have the
Bradley Roll?
Listen, all I'm telling you, come on now, Levan. Don't do this to me.
I telling you what
All
happened.
I'm telling you is I don't have to drive a bus. I don't have to ride on the bus to see the foolishness they do.
And Chivago Lang is on the public record saying that when he took the bus while he lived on Cable Beach, he couldn't believe that taking the bus was such a magical experience.
Yeah, that's because it's west. It's west.
You just say all the
It's
bus
west.
driver. So all
It's
the bus
west.
driver except for the set in the west.
when you go in the city, East Street, Wolf Road, Soda Road,
boy.
Pinewood, oh, these guys are
It's no
reckless.
wonder you
Not
there
only
for
that,
them.
Not only that.
I tell
think
you.
I'm going to make an appeal to Jobed Colby Davis.
To do what?
Please pass a law to let bus drivers know that their personal music is their personal music. And it should not be ringing out loud
When I tell you this man is losing ear.
and causing ear problems to people who are on the bus who don't want to listen to that music.
So how come when your
Need to
wife
make that
rob
law.
you don't have air problems?
No, we're not discussing that.
Them on the bus, they hear any music.
Man, you don't have to be on
So
the
how
bus.
you know all these
I
things?
these buses pass you and they got this as a matter of fact, you know what some of them do? They have a speaker that is on the outside in the grill.
But that still cannot tell
And
you how
all-
loud the music is in the bus.
Oh, man.
A speaker
Oh,
in the
wow.
grill cannot
Oh,
tell
wow.
you
Oh,
how
wow.
loud the music in the bus is.
The music on the bus is so loud. The back portion of the bus is booming, boom, boom, boom.
And you able to observe this?
I've been in buses to experience that for sure.
When?
All right? Maybe
1994?
3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Oh boy.
Something?
3 years ago,
Hey.
they decided us inside the host log
You know
guy.
something?
No one was taking the bus.
I understand that you all two are bus drivers, right? But I'm not lying. Bus drivers just blare music in their bus and they don't give a 5 cents about the people who on the bus. As if everybody's supposed to appreciate the music.
You talking foolishness. As a bus driver,
Jobert
I
Colby
sit
Davis.
on the bus
Miss
and the
Colby
people
Davis,
bring
please.
their bomb box on the bus and
Miss-
blare music in my ear.
Miss Colby
as
Davis.
if I already have radio
Miss
on in
Colby
my bus.
Davis, Jobert Colby Davis, please, you all need to pass a law. Let these bus drivers know that they don't have a right to infringe or to impose their music on people who ride in the bus.
What more people
All right.
Hold on, and if she could get to something as frivolous as that,
Bus driver don't.
I will give us something.
You don't tell me what to listen to.
I will give us
I
something
don't listen
real
to
to go
music.
do.
I paying you to take me from point A to point B, not to
she-
listen to your loud music.
Man, listen to me. And I couldn't give a mice horse what you think. When you sit when you put people on hold with your cell phone and they display music in your ears, I don't want to hear that. And when you call the insurance company, they display music in your ears, I don't want to hear that. I tell you, I couldn't give a jump in Geronimo. If you tell me you don't want to hear the radio, that don't make no difference to me. I'd awake and this is what playing in my foyer. When I go to the people in foyer, I can't tell them what to play in their foyer. When I go on in the bank the other day, they almost played a little Chinese music till it drive me crazy. Could I tell the people in the bank, please stop playing this ping pong pong in my ears? No, I couldn't.
Let me tell you what is so terrible about us as this third world country. We're not trying to move ahead, you know. When I travel to first world countries and I get on their bus and their system, it is perfectly organized.
Foolishness.
And when you get on the bus,
Foolishness.
you ain't gonna hear no kind of loud music.
Foolishness.
If you don't have your thing in your ear, as a matter of fact, they have all their signs posted. No loud music,
Yeah,
no
and
blah,
I
blah,
took
blah,
the
blah.
bus in Canada and watched the bus leave, the woman standing up in 3 degrees. We don't do that here either.
You know why?
We go to the corner for mama them.
Hey.
Huh?
We have a-
Mama walking
those
with
people have a
2
system in
bags
place.
full of grocery.
No, come on
and
now,
it's
don't do that.
snowing. You leave
In
my family
Canada,
on the bus
listen,
stop and see the
they have
laptop.
signs posted. The bus will be arriving
And
at
Mama walking with her
5:20.
bad knee and 3 bags of grocery, and Mama is 38 seconds away from the bus stop spiritual advisor.
You have the plan. The bus is going to be leaving at
I'm not listening to
5:28
you.
p.m.
But Joe, if
Please
you
be
got
there.
that much free time on your hand to listen to this, let me tell you something. You all ain't never had bus run east or west on the whole O'Hara Road and the East-West Highway. If you got this much idle time, please put one
No,
bus
don't
on
do
there.
that now. You seem to be a man for fair play, right? All I'm telling you, Job and Kobe Davis, y'all need to pass a law.
First of all,
please
I
tell
don't
these
think
bus
that you are a
drivers
credible
to
witness.
stop playing their music because I don't want to hear it. If I'm
You
riding the bus,
are not a credible witness. You just said that you
so
haven't
they'll
been
do
on a
that.
bus in 3
So don't
years.
play-
We can't listen to
so
you.
Levan Miller, you mean to tell me that bus drivers don't play loud music on buses? That's what you're saying?
I can tell you what I mean to tell you.
Say it now.
I
Confess
mean
it.
to tell you, you are not a credible
Wow.
witness. When is the last time you take any public
It's amazing.
transportation?
I don't have to take it.
You gotta get
The music is so loud you can hear it. These bus drivers pass through all day, every day.
And you could also see
On
them
2
driving
wheels. As a matter of
recklessly.
fact, when they get around the curve,
See this?
the bus is tilt on 2.
See this? You,
See this song.
you take your pills today? I want to invite you, spiritual advisor, if you're on drugs, stop. But if you
Never.
are not on drugs, I want you to start.
Listen.
Because drugs have to be in some people's story.
I like Rodney.
And I don't want you to believe.
Let me tell you, one of the things that me and Rodney have in common, I never smoked dope in my life.
Me neither. Well, I
And
lied. That's a
put
lie.
my head on the
That's
chopping
a
block,
lie.
so help me God. I
a
never
lie.
smoked dope. Never.
Yeah.
I never smoked a cigarette.
I never smoke a cigarette either, so we can share that. But what I want to say to you, spiritual
Never.
advisor,
I never smoked dope in my life.
But see, that's the thing. You might need dope. You might need something else to help. You might need like
I
a
need
level
Jesus.
off now
I need Jesus,
to
man.
help you level off. Because I don't know how you making
Listen,
these claims.
man,
They're
listen, you're
unfounded.
being very dishonest, Levan.
My God.
Honestly,
You say the bus
use
on
my
2
friend, right?
wheel.
I didn't know that. Use my
You
friend,
say the
but you're being
6 wheel.
dishonest. You're being
Spiritual
dishonest.
advisor, you
There's
say-
loud music on buses, man. Come
It
on,
even
man.
impossible for a bus to be on 2 wheel because the back wheels
No,
is 2.
I was only joking.
So now you
joking.
Now you joking.
Yeah, but it's just like though they getting speed around that, and the
Oh,
bus
boy.
pull, and it lean, and I be like,
Oh,
look
boy.
at these bus
So
drivers.
listen, Michael Davel, here's what I want to say. You got one bunch of public service drivers. We done vet them. They done do one bunch of training and Bahama hosts and all sorts of things. In case you can't find no one to drive the ambulance, just hire a couple of them.
No.
And pay them to see
Never
them.
miss it, Davel. You're putting people's life at risk.
In the world.
At risk.
In the world. And I will tell you this.
They break every law on the road, man.
Well,
every
the
traffic law them
the
buses
ambulance
break.
don't need no traffic law, so that's moot. When the ambulance cut on the siren, they don't care about no traffic law. So if you saying the bus driver have a problem adhering to traffic law, this sounds like the perfect job for him.
Oh boy.
And all I'm saying
Public
is,
safety is number one.
are you
Let me ask
trying-
a question. As a bus driver, do they tell you the public safety is number
and I
one?
will tell you this, and go check this. Plane crashes have killed more people in the last 5 years than any number of buses.
That's not true.
You wouldn't bet your wife in a swingers
I don't
club
know
for
if
that.
that's stat- I don't know. I don't know if that stat is correct, but it's.
Andres, 5. The plane crashes have killed more people in the last 5 years than buses have. I don't know what you're talking about. The spiritual advisor, I tell you, if you're not on drugs, I want you to start today. But if you are on drugs, I want you to stop. Let us just be resolved that drugs should be in your story at some point. Because you need some leveling off.
Loud music.
Welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you for staying with us through the break. The phone lines are open. Spiritual advisor, get the people the phone lines because you raising my pressure in here, and
I can understand why.
You
323.
raising my pressure in here, and I ain't gonna let you do that to
No
my,
blood
my
pressure.
Yeah.
323-7775 is the number to call. 698. We had a wonderful debate, eh?
When the fellas fly in plane with no gas in it, I don't hear nobody say nothing but them. When y'all let the boy fly the people over Andres who don't have no pilot's license and kill all them innocent people, I ain't hear nobody. And tell me how much people bus kill in the last 10 years.
698-0775.
I'm not listening to you.
698-0775. Man, you'll stop this loud music on this bus, eh?
You don't catch no bus.
Don't push the music on me. I don't hear that.
Don't catch bus. I'm not having no argument with a non-bus catcher.
323-7775. 698-0775. 698-0776.
Yeah.
These people ain't safe. Welcome to Freedom March. Welcome to Freedom.
Hello. Good
Hey.
day, spiritual advisor. Good day to the nation.
Yes, good day.
Spiritual advisor, you on your own with this fight today because I'm going to tell you the bus system has changed tremendously in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas of late. I mean, you can count the buses that drive around that plays the loud music on one hand, number one. Number two, the bus service, as we watch the bus service, it has transformed tremendously. You have more seasoned bus drivers now who cares about the citizens and the passengers. You know, so I must say, you know, things have changed tremendously. So you are living in the past, my brother, when you speak of bus services.
When last you rode on a bus?
When last I rode on? Well, I have never rode on a bus.
Now you see?
Like
now you see the argument? Now you see what's going on?
No, but you have never rode on a bus either.
No.
So what qualifies you to speak?
No. Put Mr. Camp on hold for me, please. Put Mr. Camp on hold. I've ridden on buses plenty times. Plenty times.
Where you was going?
Plenty times.
Where you was going?
Either to go pick up a vehicle, either to go and meet somebody at a particular place, or when my vehicle was down. I've caught buses plenty times. All right? Right now, I can tell you there are times when I'm driving, a bus will shoot past me with loud music, cut in front of me, stop at the bus stop.
A pastor will do the same thing?
In the middle of the road, right? Then you have to try swing around them. Mind you, you do have shoulders, you know. There are some shoulders on the road where buses can pull in.
Clark,
where they can pull in.
Engineer. Let me find the article.
Francis
Clark.
Mr. Camp's on hold.
Mr. Camp, you
can finish talking, Mr. Camp. Go ahead.
Okay, a spiritual advisor.
Yeah.
Listen, I must say what you're talking about is a thing of the past because, yeah, we did used to have that type of experiences with bus drivers, loud music and all that, the reckless driving, driving on the sidewalks and all. But I'm saying that is a thing of the past.
So it don't happen anymore?
Today you don't have that kind of
okay.
And I drive every day, and I watch bus drivers every day, and I said, wow, what went wrong?
Well,
what is it that made them, you know, I guess because the police is doing their job, and the police is policing them more, and they're tired of getting tickets, and they're tired of going to court, so now they're driving with more sense. They're driving more respect, you know, and everything. So I must say what you're talking about is a thing of the past. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Camp.
Thank you.
You sound like a PLP.
Oh, boy.
Is that W?
Oh, boy.
Welcome to Freedom.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Spiritual advisor, I agree with you on the term bus drivers driving recklessly and playing music. As a mother, a lot of their music are inappropriate for children, and I do see children on those buses as well.
I know, I've seen it.
Caller, can I ask you when last have you taken the public transportation?
The way they drive. And then also, I've lived in Canada, so I know their rules. Yes, they're going to leave you out on the cold.
That was somebody Grammy.
That they drive every 15 minutes, so it's just a quick wait.
No, that was somebody Grammy. I watched the bus in Canada. Let me tell you something. I caught the bus in Canada. I caught the bus in Cuba. When I caught the bus in Cuba, the little Cuban fella had his goat in the bag, and him and the goat tried sit in my lap. That wouldn't happen here. When I went to Canada, I mean, somebody Grammy walking in the, out here is ungodly cold. And this bus pull off and leave mama walking to the bus stop.
Yes, they do, but it indicates that they come every 15 minutes. I was left in the cold too.
I tell you one thing, you leave my Grammy trying to get to this bus.
No, it's a system. They have a system in place.
They
have a system. Because they have so many people.
And that's what we need in the Bahamas, man.
Leave my
As well as
Grammy
the
and find out.
ambulances, me as a person, I would never go on an ambulance that is a manual shift, ever.
I don't know why the government did that. Buy
Why not?
ambulance at a manual shift. Standard shift ambulance.
But why?
That's a
Why?
mistake.
Why?
And it's proven that they made a mistake. Guess why, caller? Because right now, if you go on Thompson Boulevard, where the old where next door to the CDU, you will see 9 or 10 of those ambulances park up right
So
now.
just hire bus drivers
That's a
to
waste
drive
of the
them.
taxpayers' dollars.
They park up, they don't move.
Just hire bus drivers to drive them.
Oh man.
Nope.
Wow, that's
When last you catch the bus, caller?
I've never caught the bus.
I don't listen to people like this.
But that's not. Hey, but the
Caller, do me a favor. Caller, you want let's do a test case?
Okay.
the facts of that though.
You sound like a reasonable woman. Are you one of the young woman them, one of the old woman them, or one of the woman them who young enough? Which one you is?
I'm young enough.
Okay. So that means you ain't catch no bus in 20 years.
No.
Good. Which area would you say your commute comes from, east or west?
West.
West. Friday of this week, let's catch the bus. And if you catch the bus and your experience is horrible, I would concede to you on TV that the public bus system in the Bahamas don't
She
work.
may end up catching the bus or doing the right thing.
You just say all the... Huh?
Anyhow,
I'll catch the bus on Friday,
And you
Okay.
will let me know?
call us back.
and I will let you know.
Okay.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, caller.
Okay.
God bless you.
Spiritual advice, I'm not gonna let you
Welcome to
demean
Freedom March.
the efforts of wonderful public transportation station service engineers. We're not
Okay.
gonna do that.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Good afternoon.
Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Hello, Freedom March.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
live.
Okay, yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen. I do agree with Levan in that the public service bus system has improved greatly.
Okay.
It really used to be bad, but it has improved greatly.
Okay.
You know, there are still some that they need to, come up on. But the reason that I'm calling, right, is I got 2 chicken bones to pick with you, Mrs. Spiritual Advisor.
Okay. Chicken bone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The last week, I think you called for them to pull up a video with Mr. Moncur and the gentleman, Mr. Francis.
Francis?
You remember?
About Carlton, Francis and the airport site?
What was it exactly?
When Rodney say they
Oh,
saw...
you mean the former member of Parliament, Carlton Francis?
Yeah, I think
okay.
it's kind of sensitive when you do things like that, because I didn't see it as a joke. So,
Okay, I'm sorry.
and then being that, when like people have issues, people have problems, a lot of people have prostate problems, and so they got to tote these catheter and bags and stuff in their pants and stuff like that. And I understand the gentleman was sick. Okay, so, and then you may have his relatives listening in and stuff like that. So
Oh, boy.
it could come across as sensitive. So I really wouldn't
Okay.
pull up that.
Okay,
one.
I'm sorry we did that. So you think we should try to get TikTok and those to take that down, right?
I mean, it's
Now
not,
you
but
see-
I wouldn't really
now you
use
see the
that
problem?
as a joke.
Now you see the problem?
Yeah, because it's very sensitive. It could be very sensitive.
Okay, so what we'll do is we will not play that anymore on Freedom March.
Yeah, okay,
That's
chicken
fine.
bone number 2. Okay, now I agree with Levan when he said about the march. I like that idea for the march.
Yeah, we should march. I think in Labor Day, caller. Because
Yeah, the
I don't
Rodney
want y'all to
march.
tell me
Yeah,
nothing but you're all in the
boy,
way.
spiritual advisor, to me, when he said, oh no, the Seventh-day Adventists ain't going to be able to come on the march, and then you just knock it down. You say, oh, don't worry about them. It's only a couple of them.
Oh,
but I
Lord.
don't know if you ever watched the National Youth March
Oh,
and
Lord.
see who is the largest group
Wow.
on that march.
Spirit, did you see that?
The Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders.
My God.
Right, I don't problem with the march and stuff like that, Listen, let me just say this. I have no issue. See, let me tell you what a lot of people don't recognize, right? That as a Bible scholar, I take no issue with people. Some of my best friends are Seventh-day Adventists. You ain't believe this. Some of my best friends are Seventh-day Adventists. I have Seventh-day Adventist clients. They're Seventh-day Adventists whose yards they go to clean. My passion, though, is that the teachings of the Seventh-day Adventist Church is erroneous. And they understand that. So don't get upset about that, because I'm not upset with any Seventh-day
Yeah, I'm
Adventist.
not upset, and,
Okay,
and we
okay.
love you. We love you too. But I don't think that we are God's children, and we can't be putting one another down or feel like or they're not important.
So all of us are God's children, the whole 8 billion people in the world?
Everyone Jesus died for.
Now.
Everyone,
But
Jesus
does
died
every-
for us,
but-
death ourselves. So
But let me ask you a question.
you have to receive everyone.
Okay, so that makes
you
a
have to
difference.
love everyone and, not put anyone down because Christ died
But-
for us.
but-
So all of us have a choice to eternal life.
Right, but caller, let me before you go, you say you're correct. Jesus died for everyone, right? But let me ask a question: does everyone believe in Jesus?
No, everyone does
Right,
not.
so now how you gonna
when
be-
probation closes, then that'll be on them.
What probation?
When the time of decision has closed, everyone has a time.
You sound like a Seventh-day Adventist. You gotta call me. Call me. We need to discuss this. Yeah,
All right,
probation.
sir.
It's amazing,
All right,
eh?
so my pleasure.
814-6096. Call me. You're my friend. We can talk about it, okay? 814-6096. Call
Now,
me, please.
spiritual advisor, I finally found it. Producer, please.
Okay, take care.
All right,
Thank
thank
you
you,
very much
Paula.
for taking.
Please put that up on the screen as soon as you could. Take one more phone call, spiritual advisor.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live. Are you there, caller? 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hello.
You're live, caller. Go ahead.
Yes, hello.
Hey.
You're live.
Yeah, one of the problems we have in the public transportation, too many Creole speaking people cannot read, cannot understand how they get badge, how they get the badge.
I don't know, but caller, can I tell you something? This
They
may not...
cannot pass Bahama House. Road traffic is to blame for it.
Caller, I will tell you
Selling
something.
those is alleged that they're selling those badges for big money. They need
Wow.
to weed out everybody who dealing with the badges.
Wow. Caller, I will tell you something, right? If I tell you this, you may find it hard to believe. You ready?
I'm listening.
In my other life, we did a couple of operations, and we did it in the area of Arawaki. And what we found, because I tell you, you ever heard the name Chad Adams?
Yes,
You ever heard about Big Bad Brad?
yes.
Well, Big Bad Brad can't shake a stick against Big Bad Chad. Chad Adams and the Waist Snatching Brigade do not mess around. All right?
Weight or waist?
The Waist Snatching Brigade. So when Chad Adams and the Waist Snatchers came out on Arawaki, you know what we found, much to my chagrin? That the people out there, yes, many of them are Frenchmen. But notwithstanding their French origin, they have spousal permits. So y'all don't like them. Y'all are in love with them. And what can we do about that?
No, that's not the case, you know. When one of them hits
The females marrying them, eh?
They love them.
They leave their vehicle right there because they know they is straight and they didn't get their license the right way.
Listen to what I'm telling you, man. These people have spousal permits.
Not all of them. Check out the taxi line. They crying every day and nobody will address it. Then they carry the tourists. They don't even understand where they don't have a home. They drop the tourists anywhere.
Yeah.
And you hear
Well,
them
we can
say,
vet it. We'll vet it, but I'll tell you, my own research and finding is more of them have spousal permits than you are prepared to believe.
I don't know, but how they get there, they cannot pass Bahama House to get the badge.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll look into it though, because the spiritual advisors say Joe Bet don't have nothing to do. So
No, don't do that. No.
Let's take another one. You say
No. I say I'm asking Jobed Kobe
to go
Davis
listen to the music on the people bus, like the minister don't have nothing to do.
No, that's a job. Look into the busing system, and where you have bus drivers who are playing this loud decimal music, make it a law that they cannot do that. They're
But it is
infringing the
already
rights
a
of
law
people.
for no one to play loud music.
Okay. Well, we
Yeah.
need to cite them and give them a ticket then. Well,
So you want us to call Shanta now?
so who else can do it?
But if Shanta responsible for keeping the law, eh?
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Welcome to Freedom March. Oh, sorry.
See, this is when you cut the head. No, eyewitness news source quotes senior engineer at the Ministry of Works, Francis Clark. I tell you, I don't talk foolishness. You know what my problem is? I can't not remember. On Tuesday, responded to these concerns, stating that the issue is a logistical challenge. It is not uncommon around the world for bus drivers to stop in the travel lane and pick up passengers. So because we are restricted due to land space, we have to use bus laybys an area at the side of the road where vehicles may pull off the road in various locations. Where the rest of the thing? That's all? But don't let me cut off the story. Take a phone call till I find it. 323-7775.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live. Call, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Go ahead. You're live.
Yes, yes. I have a political concern to both of you, Mr. Miller and Mr. Spiritual Advisor.
Okay.
There was a group of liberals, feminist liberals, who was lobbying for marginal rape a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they are now offering themselves to run in this upcoming general election.
Mm-hmm.
And the opposition leader have already agreed with them, if he be elected, he will make marginal rape law. My concern is this to the group of alpha male men that are in the Bahamas, because the feminine man seems to want to support that. We would like to raise this issue to find out how the alpha male man feel about this group of feminists, liberal, who have their head or headed by Jezebel, decide to lobby for marginal rape, and the opposition leader agreed to support this issue.
So last week we spoke about this here on Freedom March, and I said that I think that they idle. And I hope that that wouldn't be on his platform, because that would just be a waste of a bunch of more idle time. I mean, if they wanted to do something that made, a little more productive effort, they would simply pass in the law that marriages in the Bahamas don't need to be contested. Because at the point you get to raping a woman or raping anybody, this cannot be a marriage. I would also like for them, right, to prove that they're not idle, to find a way to make it actually possible to rape a man. Because in the Bahamas, the penal code, unless your wife does something ungodly to you, you cannot charge your wife with rape. You are aware of that?
There has to be some sort of penetration.
Brother Miller and Brother Spiritual Advisor.
Yes, sir.
Do you all remember the story about Joseph?
Yeah.
Was Joseph went into jail innocently?
The woman lied on him.
Did she lie?
Yes, she did.
Do you believe those unsaved group who've been lobbying for marginal rape, do you believe that they will lie again?
Of course they will.
Yes. Do you remember what happened to the prophet Elijah?
Mm-hmm.
What Jezebel did to what Jezebel told him?
She lied to him.
Jezebel told him that I am coming to get you. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Then what happened to the prophet? He break off running, right?
Spiritual.
Go ahead, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He did, right?
Yeah.
So that spirit still exists today.
Yeah, we understand that.
This is why this group of liberals, feminist liberals, are offering themselves to run in this upcoming general election so they could get their wish.
But all they would have to do, thank you, caller, all they would have to do
Thank you, Amos.
is simply remove the threshold for contested divorces. It's as simple as that. And if they were serious about equality, they would actually make it a parity in the law that my wife could rape me. Because as the law defines rape presently, rape is the penetration or the stimulation of the vulva. And I just drive a Lincoln. I don't have no vulva. So that means I can't get raped. And I think that that is grossly unfair
What's
to
that?
me.
What's that?
That rape in the Bahamas is classified as the stimulation or the penetration of a vulva.
No, rape is,
and I don't have no vulva.
Rape is non-consensual sex.
No, sir. The penal code. The penal code in the Bahamas defines rape as the stimulation or the penetration of the vulva. I don't have
They
no vulva.
specifically say that? So that means it's a one-way situation. You're going to rape woman.
Your wife,
you can't rape man.
unless your wife practices sodomy on you, which is what I would charge her with. I wouldn't charge her with rape. I would charge her with unnatural sex.
Sodomy.
So technically, your wife cannot rape you, spiritual advisor.
Okay.
And if your wife can't rape you, then how these women who run here talking about they want equality can't stop man from getting raped? They can't stop immigrant woman from thieving man, baby. And they they bother themselves with nonsense when they could simply go to the Attorney General, because he's a QC or KC, he white, and he been to plenty big schools, plenty people are gonna listen to him, and say, Mr. AG, sir, please remove the threshold for marriages to be contested in the Bahamas. And then that way you could just look at the woman and say, the more I look at this woman, the more she look like her ma, and I never thought her ma was a good-looking woman. And you say, I divorced thee, I divorced thee, I divorced thee.
No, that's crazy.
Well, why are we getting into these
Why do you have to, hold on, why does the court system or the legal system have to put me and the woman I love at odds against one another as if we don't have children to still raise? Because I tell you one thing, if you think you're going in the court to divorce me, I just practice fainting. And every time I go in court, the judge asks, Mr. Miller, this woman say she won't leave you, how you feel? I can't respond because I on the ground getting fanned. Someone got to fan me back to consciousness because I'm not letting you leave. And the law makes it possible for us to do that. When you could simply pass the law that removes the requirement for rape to be for divorce to be something that requires justification. There is no such thing as irreconcilable differences in Bahamian law as far as marriage is concerned.
But a lot of those, well, one or two of the rules as relates to
abandonment,
marriage.
Hold on, abandonment, adultery.
Yeah.
Well, I even can't remember what the next one is. And how?
Desertion.
Abandonment, desertion, adultery. And you
they have irreconcilable differences as well.
Show it to me.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Show it to me.
Well, a lot of folks get divorced on those same things.
Not in the Bahamas.
You sure about that?
Not in the Bahamas.
There is no such thing as an irreconcilable difference.
We'll have to ask a lawyer, but I know I saw it before.
Lawyer, call the phone and tell this man that in order for you to leave your wife, you all two have to almost hate one another. And it's hard enough for a married man to have sex with the wife they love. You think he having sex with the wife he hate, and you think he hate her so much he won't go home and rape her? Man, let's take another phone call. Hello, caller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Miller, and good afternoon, spiritual advisor. It's your girl, Tanya, coming to you live from Shop Smart Department Store, your miracle right here on Maki, where we say we're here for you for whatever season of your life and for everyday living. Yes, it's graduation time, and we are saying congratulations to all of the graduates, whether it is from preschool, primary school, junior high, senior high, or from university. Congratulations on a job well done. And yes, to help you celebrate, we have taken 30% off all of our graduation items. 30% off. You can come on in and do your graduation shopping. But we went even further. Mr. Miller, guess what? We have got the graduation balloon packages. We have them in the black and gold and silver, or you can get it in the pink. You can get it in the blue. You can just come in and get an arrangement of balloons if you don't want the whole basket. Yes, we've got the basket packages, and those basket packages start as low as $19.99, or you can get them for $39.99, or as high as you wish to go. Or you can just come on in and put your own basket together, because you know your graduate. Shop Smart is located right here at number 122 Maki Street, and we're open Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for your shopping convenience. But if you can't come in the store, all you need to do is shop with us 24 hours a day. That is on our website, shopsmart242.com. Yes, you can do all of your ordering right there. You can have it delivered to the boat of your choice, or right here in Nassau to your place of business. You can also give us a call here at 698-1051 or 698-1052. Or reach out to us on our WhatsApp line, our messaging line, 813-4397, 813-4397. Gents, you know I always like to tell you, remember to shop early, to shop often, and to shop smart. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, Tanya. Well, Spiritual, we're almost out of time.
Yeah,
But before we go, I'd like to send a special shout out to my friends down at Island Connect. I appreciate them so much. Listen, had it not been for Elsa, I wouldn't have this boyish charm. And had it not been for Levan, I wouldn't have these indelibly handsome and debonair good looks. But outside of that, Island Connect keeps me together, and that's why I look the way that I look. But also, I want to send a special shout out to a friend of mine, Lola. Lola, I hear you graduating from college. Well, what a time to be alive in God, Holy Jerusalem City. They just let anybody graduate from these colleges now, it appears. I don't know. So congratulations, my dear. She's graduating today, I think, with an associate's degree in criminology and law. And so there you have it. Pookie, you all better watch out. We have a new lawyer in the making, and she says she's not taking any criminality from any criminal. You stand no chance against. Anyway, Spiritual Advisor, that's the music.
Until tomorrow, if it's the Lord's will.
Thank you for joining us. Right here on 103.5 FM, The Beat, only on Freedom March. We'll see you again tomorrow.